Are we going to Mars?
No. My assessment is that the idea of Mars colonization today serves as a distraction, an enticing narrative that obscures deeper, more urgent issues we ought to be confronting right now. One of those issues is the escalating space race around orbital control and lunar mining. I say this because if we were genuinely preparing for life on Mars, we'd be investing in highly specific technologies, economic frameworks, and governance systems designed for that reality. But we're not. And that's exactly how I know those in positions of decision-making aren't genuinely committed to making it happen. Let me be clear, it's not that human life on Mars is impossible. It's that it demands an extraordinary level of effort, coordination, and innovation. And that simply isn't happening. Let's start with the basics, exiting Earth. Rocket fuel-powered launches are fine for small missions, but they're not scalable for mass migration. We'd need alternative technologies, like maglev-based launch systems or other high-throughput exit mechanisms. Yet, unlike reusable rockets, there's no serious momentum behind these ideas. Then comes interplanetary travel. Moving large numbers of people to Mars isn't just about building a bigger rocket. It requires a massive orbital infrastructure, a space station capable of supplying food, water, fuel, and medical support. It demands entirely new classes of spacecraft designed for long-haul human transport, not just cargo or short-term crews. And once we arrive? Mars itself is a blank slate. We'd need autonomous construction systems that can build habitats using Martian regolith. We'd need power grids, water and sanitation systems, waste recycling, and agricultural modules, all engineered for an alien world with low gravity, high radiation, and no breathable atmosphere. And here's the crux, we haven't even begun to understand how plants, trees, and livestock behave in low gravity at scale. At our current level of technological advancement, they form the backbone of any self-sustaining civilization. We need to see forests grow, crops flourish, and livestock thrive under Martian conditions. That means years, if not decades, of controlled experimentation, biological adaptation, and ecological engineering. None of this is being prototyped at scale. Not in orbit, not on the Moon, and certainly not on Mars. And to move these concepts from theory to reality would take decades, possibly a century, if we began today. That is, if we begin at all. I have an understanding of this because I've lived it, fictionally. I've written 2 novels, one on Mars habitation, the other on Venus terraforming. The amount of research, design, and world-building I had to do just to make those stories plausible was staggering. And that was fiction. If we were to attempt it in reality, the complexity would be beyond imagination. My novels aren't published yet, but if you're curious about the technologies behind Mars and Venus habitation, I'd be thrilled to explore them in a future episode. Just let me know. So back to Mars, if nothing meaningful is happening, then why all the noise? Why the headlines, the hype, the promises? I don't know the exact motives. They're not public. But I can surmise, based on what is shadowed by all the hype about Mars. These are orbital monopolies, space surveillance, and lunar mining. Behind the facade of Mars, technologies are being developed and progress made at breakneck speed for these. Companies are deploying tens of thousands of satellites for global internet coverage and real-time Earth observation. These mega-constellations promise seamless connectivity and low-latency communication across the planet. But they also lead to severe overcrowding in low Earth orbit, complicating access, increasing collision risks, and consolidating control in the hands of a few. And then there's surveillance. In just the last decade, the number of surveillance satellites has exploded. The U.S. Department of Defense alone plans to launch over 1,000 satellites in the next 10 years, while the National Reconnaissance Office is quadrupling its fleet. These satellites enable what's called constant stare, a continuous, high-resolution watch over any location on Earth, day and night. This isn't science fiction. It's unfolding in real time, quietly, relentlessly, and buried beneath the headlines about Mars. And finally, there's the growing push to mine helium-3 from the Moon, not for Mars, but for Earth. Helium-3 is a rare isotope with powerful applications in fusion energy, as well as in national security technologies like quantum computing and radiation detection. In 2025, the U.S. Department of Energy agreed to purchase 3 liters of lunar helium-3, the first government acquisition of an extraterrestrial resource in history. Companies are developing autonomous excavators capable of processing hundreds of metric tons of lunar regolith per day, aiming to deliver helium-3 to Earth within the next decade. And China's Chang'e 5 mission has already returned a lunar sample of 1.7 kilograms, making China the 3rd country in history to bring back material from the moon. With follow-up missions already in motion, China is not far behind America in the race to unlock lunar resources. This is where space innovation finds its true footing. Reusable rockets, autonomous mining systems, and intensifying international competition are converging, not to build cities on Mars, but to unearth the moon's hidden potential for strategic advantage and corporate profit. Don't get me wrong, a moon habitation itself is a giant leap forward. However, it should be clear that this is the goal, not Mars. Being open and honest about our priorities is critical for a positive human society, and that is how we will achieve the impossible. So no, there's nothing happening in relation to building a sustainable human presence on Mars. Eventually, yes, a team will be sent. They'll step out onto Martian soil, jump up and down, maybe sing a song, plant a flag, and then catch the ride back home. That will be the headline. That will be the show. And that will be all. Until next time, keep filling the bandwidth.